In Psalm 18, David was looking back after a great deliverance in his life. He was rejoicing because the Lord had rescued him from his enemies. I'll let you listen to his testimony in his own words in just a moment. But first of all, let me just say thanks for joining me once again for another Heart to Heart Talk. I'm John Kuert, the pastor at Alpha Assembly in Clarion, Pennsylvania. And thank you for the opportunity for me to share with you. I hope that these little messages each day are a blessing for you. And I think that they bless me as much as anyone. And it's a joy to just have this opportunity to post these on our Facebook page and on our website at alphaag.org so that you can listen to them, and they're there continually. You can listen to them. If there's one you especially like, you can listen to it again the second or third time. And for me, sometimes that is the case, especially when I'm going through difficulties. But anyway, back to David here. Back to David in Psalm 18. And indeed, David had just been through a terrible time of testing. Saul had put a bounty on his head and had chased him relentlessly. Imagine that. That was his own father-in-law. And David was forced to sleep in caves and dens and open fields. David said of that dark time, "The sorrows of hell surrounded me." Listen to this. He says, "And I lived in distress. Ungodly men made me afraid. My enemies were all too strong for me. They all hated me." But that's not the end of the story. David goes on to say, "But God came through, roaring out of the heavens to deliver me." I'm so thankful for that part of the testimony. You know, David went through a terrible time. I don't know why. Sometimes we go through terrible times too. I don't know. I don't understand it all. But I do know that whatever it is and however long it takes for us to come through it, God is with us. He's on our side, and He will bring us through. God came roaring out of the heavens to deliver David. Demon powers had surrounded David. The enemy had come in like a flood, and yet David was able to say, "God came roaring forth to pull me out of those swirling waters. He rescued me from all my troubles. He brought me forth also into a large place." That means like a good place. "And He delivered me because He delighted in me." And I don't know what you might be going through, but the Lord delights in you. And the Lord is on your side. And even though the enemy may come against you in various ways, just remember that God is for you, and He will come through for you one way or another, sooner or later. If you need deliverance, whether it's from lust, and there are many people that are caught in that addiction in these days. It might be some temptation that you have, or a trial that you're going through. Whether your problem is mental or spiritually related, or it's emotional or physical, this verse is the key to your victory. And the key is simply this: God delights in you because you are precious to Him. Now, this psalm is especially wonderful for me. I heard it many, many times talked about as I was growing up. It was a chapter, Psalm 18, that my mom claimed as she was going through my birth. She had some reports from the doctors that there was some really great difficulties that she had with the pregnancy, that so much so that either she was going to die or she would lose the baby. And she claimed this, and she fasted and prayed, and in the end, I was born, natural birth, and it was just, for her, it was an amazing thing. I I heard her testimony many times growing up. Sometimes when I was a kid, I remember cringing. Oh no, mom is saying it again. And I would just kind of like want to crawl under the pew. But at any rate, this was a very special psalm to her. And you know what? I think it can be a special psalm for all of us, because we all go through difficulties sometimes, and we feel like the enemy is chasing us, and we just feel like we're about to be overcome. We're running for our lives, so to speak. And but just remember this, and that might be what you're going through today. Remember this: God delights in you, and you're precious to Him, and He will come through. Hang on to that promise. He loves you, He cares for you, and He is the most powerful force in this world. When I say force, I don't mean it to sound impersonal, but um, He He is all powerful, and He will come roaring through for you in due time. And He has done that for me many times in my lifetime, in my ministry, and I can testify to you that just hang in there, be strong, keep claiming the promises of God, and He'll bring you through. Well, thanks for joining me again for this heart-to-heart talk. I hope and pray that it is uplifting and encouraging to you, whatever you're going through. And I do hope and pray that someday you'll stop by and visit us at the church there on Sunday mornings at 10:30. We'd love to have you. In the meantime, have a great day. God bless you, and hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.